We have some breaking news from Bob McKenzie via Twitter. He tweeted just a few moments ago, effective immediately, owner Eugene Melnyk has sold the Ottawa Senators to an unnamed local business for an undisclosed amount. He follows up that tweet by saying GM Pierre Dorion, the entire coaching staff, everyone involved with the front office of the Ottawa Senators has been fired from the organization. Scouts, even the team dentist. Sorry, Bill. A few moments later, Darren Dreger broke the news that taking Pierre Dorion's place will be GM xTechGaming, formerly known for his work in Seattle, bringing 7 Stanley Cups to the expansion team. It'll be interesting to see what he can do without players like Cedric Corey and Ty Ronning. His resume speaks for himself with almost 50,000 assistant GMs helping his every move. This looks like to be the right decision for the city of Ottawa. Back to Bob McKenzie, he says Ottawa has been a graveyard for superstars. Yashin, Chara, Heatley, Hossa, Spezza, the list goes on. New management is set to change the tone. All that starts with extending ERIK Karlsson. As of right now, the head coach position is still available. We should hear news within the next couple of days. Bob McKenzie also says after a disastrous season filled with negative rumors surrounding the franchise, it's no surprise these moves were made. Speaking to ERIK Karlsson's agent, the word is that he is willing to give it another go with the franchise. With the new ownership and new management, ERIK Karlsson is looking to stay in Ottawa. The final tweet here from Pierre Lebrun says without a first-round pick this year that could turn into a lottery selection, it's now Colorado's pick, large contracts, and an overall weak roster, it's an interesting year for Ottawa. A change was coming, but no one expected it to be this big. Oh boy, the nation's capital. What's going on, guys? And welcome to episode number 1 of the Ottawa Senators. You know what? It's not even a franchise mode. It's a takeover. We're taking over the franchise. We got to do things right here in Ottawa. As of late, it has been a tire fire, but we're here on NHL 19 franchise mode. I am ready to get this thing started. So it's true. All the rumors are true. Eugene Melnyk is done. Even the team dentist, again, I'm sorry, Bill, he's done. It's all over. We're here in Ottawa and we're going to do things right. 3,000 votes later, and here we are in the nation's capital. 1,110 votes on the dot for the Ottawa Senators. Buffalo was close. It was really close. A lot of people wanted me to do Montreal, but we're here in Ottawa, again, the nation's capital. I wanted to do Buffalo, but I think we're going to save that for another time. I think that's a little bit too easy. When you look at the Ottawa Senators organization right now, it is a bit of a tire fire. I mean, with the whole Hoffman situation, and I mean, I don't even want to look at this roster. I don't even want to see what we're working with yet, because I know it's not that pretty. But Erik Karlsson, all right, that's before we even do anything, before I even get my morning Tim Hortons double-double, before I even step foot in the arena, I want to have a one-on-one meeting with Erik Karlsson, and we have to extend that contract. I would like to get this done before the season starts. So in this video, we're going to do a complete roster look through here. We're going to go over some things with Fog of War. We're going to talk about the scouts, and we got all the new scouting things, like you can see the junior stats, and there he is, Jack Hughes. Okay, so I'm just bouncing all over the place here, but I want to talk about players I created and players I didn't. So Jack Hughes is the only player that I created. That's it. I haven't added any mystery players. I haven't added anyone else. So I've added Jack Hughes, and that's it. We got Brody Bickle, all these guys. I believe they're all randomly generated for year number 1. I mean, Jack Hughes is right there. He is obviously going to be the number 1. Central Scouting has him at number 1, and once we scout him, which I'm actually going to do right now, we're going to send, actually, before I do that, I want to see which scout I want to send there, because again, there's so much to do for NHL 19 franchise. I want to do it right. We're going to take our time. We're going to be very patient here. So I guess before we send any scouts out, before we do any of that, let's just straight up have a look at the lines. Now, I don't think it's going to be pretty. Okay, let's have a look here. So, Mikhail Bodker, he is not a first liner, listed as a second liner, so he could be a pretty serviceable player for for us. He's on a 2-year, $8 million contract, obviously 4 per. He's got good chemistry with Gaborik, who's another player who I'm not super keen on keeping because he's got that massive contract of $4.875 for the next 3 years. Oh my god, we got to deal with that. And talk about a contract, Bobby freaking Ryan, $7.25 for the next 4. Oh my god. Okay, so we got our work cut out for us here. So we got Mikhail Bodker, who I might switch with Bobby Ryan. I don't know. We'll just put all of our big guns on the first line right now. Matt Duchene, who is in a contract year, but he is a first liner. On a team that's this bad, to have a player like Matt Duchene and Mark Stone, that's definitely a positive, because aside from those 2 players, honestly, it does not look very good. Where's JP Pajot? Where's that guy? I gotta bring him up. After I meet with Erik Karlsson, kind of get a gist on what's going on, I'm going to pull Matt Duchene into the office. I'm going to sit down with all of you guys and Matt Duchene, and we're going to see what we can do. He's making $6 million for 1 more year. We can either put him on the trade block and maybe dangle him to see what we can get, maybe some assets, maybe a first-round pick, because speaking of Matt Duchene, when we traded for sorry, not we, not I would never do this. When Pierre Dorion, see you later, buddy. Pierre Dorion, when he decided to pull the trigger on Matt Duchene, he sent a ton over to Colorado in that crazy 3-way trade, and in that was the first-round pick for this year, 2019 first-round pick, which, looking at our roster, could very well turn out to be a lottery selection. Aside from Erik Karlsson, the second most important player is Mark Stone. This guy's going to be a 70-point guy for us, and again, I want to extend him as well. So I definitely want to extend Mark Stone. I'm not sure about Duchene, but I am 100% sure on Erik Karlsson. So Mikhail Bodker, we got Ryan Dzingel, Marian Gaborik. So Dzingel's pretty good, probably more suited for the third line. He's on a great contract. He's 26 years old, so he's I think he's going to be probably a really, really good third liner for us. Who knows? Maybe he could stick it out and be like a 50-point guy on the second line. If I recall, yeah, that's right, 23 goals. So he's not a bad player at all. He's still young enough that he can fit in our core. I don't want to have the old men like Marian Gaborik and players like Magnus PRV. I'm not super keen on those guys. Guys like Clark MacArthur. This is going to be a youth movement here in Ottawa. A youth movement. And when we do draft and trade for and sign in free agency superstars, I want them to want to play in Ottawa. I don't want this to be a Danny Heatley, Alexei Yashin type deal. I don't want players to hate playing in Ottawa, because that's what it's been over the past 10, 15 years. Good players come into Ottawa, and before you know it, they're gone. Marian Hossa, Zdeno Chara, all those kind of guys. And I mean, we've had some terrible luck with the draft. Alexander Dag, to mention one. Then we got Zach Smith here, who could be a really good fourth liner or just a pretty solid third line center. He's got pretty decent face-offs at a 77. He's just a good PK guy. You need guys like Zach Smith. You don't need guys like Marian Gaborik. PRV, again, is just kind of a player who's in there. Max McCormick, I don't know who that guy is. Tom Pyatt. So right away, I'm looking at, where is JP Pajot? Is he just scratched? Is that a thing? Let's see. He should be scratched. Yeah, so 79 overall. Honestly, he should be playing ahead of McCormick. I think we can all agree on that. So if we were to do something like this, have JP Pajot there, because he's still young enough. He's a third line scorer. I think he would be better suited. And he's on a $3 million contract. Of course we're going to play this guy. Come on, what are you doing? We could even go something like this, right? Like, either way, I think you're going to get decent production from what we have. And then Tom Pyatt and Paul Carey. Now, defensively, it doesn't look that good, aside from Erik Karlsson. So we do have a young and up-and-comer here, Thomas CHABOT. We all know how good he's going to be. Got the medium elite potential. Former first-round pick, 18th overall. Still on his entry-level deal, which is nice. And obviously, Erik Karlsson, he's the franchise. He is the reason why I'm here. Pierre Dorion did not treat this guy right. Eugene Melnyk, it was not working out. So they called in the big guns. I mean, my resume speaks for itself. And all you assistant GMs can back me up on that. You guys helped me win 7 Stanley Cups in Seattle. But I would love to get this guy extended for the next, whatever, 8, 9 years, whatever you want. It's It's a blank check, Erik Karlsson. Have fun. Even guys like Cody Ceci, he's in a contract year as well. He's 24 years old, so he's coming up just about the time where he's either going to make it or break it as a legitimate NHL top 4 guy. He had a decent year last year. I mean, he can put up the numbers, but I mean, playing on a team like Ottawa, it's definitely not easy to be a plus defenseman. We got Chris WIDEMAN here, who looks exactly like Gabe from The Office, if anyone watches that TV show. But I mean, he's decent offensive defenseman, 28 years old, $1 million 1 year. That's a contract I can get down with. Our bottom pairing, honestly, nothing special. We got a tough guy here in Mark Borowiecki, and then we also got Ben Harper. So, I mean, honestly, it's nothing special. Looking at the goaltending situation, we got Craig Anderson and Mike Condon. Now, I know in the AHL or wherever he is, might be scratched. There he is, FILIP GUSTAVSSON. I believe he's medium starter. 62 overall. He's really good. He's going to be hopefully our next starting goalie. So FILIP GUSTAVSSON was acquired with the Derek Brassard move. He's looking to be the starter of the future. So it's a bright spot on a team that doesn't have a lot of bright spots. Obviously, in the cage for us, it's not a bright spot. We got Craig Anderson and Mike Condon. So Anderson his best days are definitely behind him. He's listed as a backup. So we have a few things that we can do this year. We can either straight up go ahead and try to tank, which really doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we don't have a first round pick. Let's have a look here at our scouts. So we got 17 out of 20. A. Crosby, what's up, buddy? Can I see any sort of details on him? ASHTON Crosby. So with this whole fog of war thing, we're going to be learning together. I really don't know everything yet. It's going to take me a little while. So I assume that, yeah, so it says current assignment. So I guess it automatically sends them out. But say, for example, I want to go ahead and scout RASMUS DAHLIN, all right? Let's just say I want to scout RASMUS DAHLIN. So I go ahead and go to the Atlantic Scout, and we're going to go to Buffalo. I believe this is how it works. Like I said, I've had minimal time with it. I got the game a little bit early, so I have been playing around a little bit with it. But I'm looking here just to kind of see how it all works. RASMUS DAHLIN, where is he? So maybe since the season hasn't started yet, he's in the AHL. So Rochester, where's Rochester? Yeah, there he is, RASMUS DAHLIN. Okay, so you can see Fog of War is on. So you can see here 83 overall. Now that's not his actual overall. It's not even close. I believe he's 80, I'm pretty sure. So once we go ahead and send the scout over to look at him, obviously we don't want a quick rundown. We want to do the complete thing. I want to know everything about this guy. Obviously his overall will change and we'll get a better idea of what he's all about. And obviously not saying I'm going to trade for him. That's ridiculous. But you can see his dekings at a 86. Only one bar, if you look there at the top left with deking, is only got one bar and it's grayed out. So it's really not accurate whatsoever. Where you look at passing, it's got the white binoculars and it's got 4 bars. 83 passing is probably pretty damn accurate. But I think once we scout him, his overall should go to like 79 or 80. So that's with the scout. Now again, we're going to be learning all this together. It's still very, very new to me. So from my understanding is the scouts will go out automatically. But if you want to target a certain player, say for example, I wanted to, let's see, a player who I wouldn't mind going to acquire. Just off the top of my head, let's go pick a team. Let's go to the Nashville Predators, all right? So say I want to go get Ryan Ellis, all right, which I would love to have a guy like Ryan Ellis on my team. We got a pretty good idea of what Ryan Ellis is. I'm sure there's some stats that we're not too sure about. Maybe that wasn't a good example because I'm looking at all of his stats and it seems like our scouts have a pretty good idea of who Ryan Ellis is, obviously. So say for example, we want to go ahead and scout Kevin Fiala. Our scouts know a little bit about him. His deking's at a 92. I highly doubt it's at a 92. They seem to have nailed his physical category down, but everything else is either gray or light gray. So if I wanted to go acquire Kevin Fiala, obviously I would send this scout out to go check him out. He would come back at a better understanding of what he is. So I guess the scout knows a little bit about him. Personality assessment, just all around a good person in the locker room, tends to keep to himself. The Pro Scout says will slot into our top 6 forward group. So they know a little bit about him. Now, I'm interested to see what they would say about a guy like PK Subban. So with Kevin Fiala, it said he kind of keeps to himself. Now, does it say that he's like a little bit off the wall with PK Subban? Or let's see. So a very well-rounded personality meshes well in any room, obviously. And the Pro Scout says he'll fit perfectly into our top pairing defenseman. Yeah, no kidding, buddy. No kidding. Who's another player that kind of has an attitude? Off the top of my head. Now, I'm kind of interested to see what they'll say about a guy like ELLIS KOVALCHUK. Let's see. Yes, Kovi is back in the game. Again, this is all super new to me, so I'm kind of just learning as I go here. What does it say? Is very loyal. I don't know about that. Keeps his emotion in check, but is not driven to win. Okay, so maybe that's a little bit of the Russian factor. So he keeps his emotions in check, so he's not a maniac, but he's not super driven to win. Which is weird, because I feel like at 35, you know, that's kind of your last little jump at a Stanley Cup. So that's interesting. Is very loyal? I don't know about that. We're definitely going to have to mess around with it. We're definitely going to have to see what's good and what's bad, what to do and what not to do. But I mean, you can send this guy here. Let's see, you can send him, okay, so he's already out in the Extraliga. So assigning a scout to specific players multiple times will yield better scouting results and increase scouting accuracy in reports. Okay. So his scout overall is a D-. So it looks like A+ being best and E being worst. Now, can we fire this guy? Okay, so let's just, for example, okay, let's just say goodbye to Christian, all right? Sorry, buddy, not happening. Not going to work out. It's not us, it's you. You suck. Okay, so now let's go to hire scouts. I'm just trying to learn here. So we need a guy in the Extraliga, I think. Let's see, all regions, Europe? Yeah, let's have a look. So it looks like this guy is an A- in the Extraliga. He's really good in Europe. You wouldn't put this guy in the AHL. Obviously, he's D-, but for some reason, he's really good in the AHL North. So this is going to take a lot of getting used to. I'm going to go ahead and hire this guy, 4 years at 97 grand. So I guess we'll give him 97,000 for 4 years. So again, I'm still trying to learn as best I can here. So looks like he was one of the more expensive scouts out there at 97 grand. Oh no, actually there's this guy who's $147,000 per year. What's so good about him? I guess he's really good in Europe. Okay, maybe this is the guy we should have went through. Now, for the salary-wise, it doesn't matter because I'm playing with owner mode off. If you have owner mode on, you're going to have a certain budget that you can put towards scouts. Obviously, I'm playing with it off because I just despise owner mode. But if you want to try it out, you can definitely do that on your own time. All right, now let's talk about Fog of War here. Now, Fog of War is the thing that really changed franchise mode this year. So we can turn it on or off. I'm going to keep it on, but the thing I want to get your guys' feedback on is, should we tweak it? Should we show the overall or show the potential right out of the draft? So I was messing around last night on this, and I was seeing that the draft was cool because it was very secretive. You didn't know what the overalls were until you went ahead and sent your scout out to scout that specific player, or you put the players you drafted in the preseason. Now, I think that's cool. I think that's really unique, and I think it would be awesome if I was doing this on my own. If I was doing this just me, myself, and I. But I got quite a few people watching this, and I want to appeal to all you guys. So maybe what we'll do is do the year one draft with everything off, so then you guys can kind of get a feel of how it is when it's off, and then we can see how it is when you can see the overall, see everything right out of the draft. Or maybe we'll turn it on for the draft and then turn it off after, so you can still hide the player overall. The biggest thing for me last year with the Seattle franchise was kind of finding late round steals. You know, when we drafted like Austin Pope and Damian Demelo, like those guys were like 80 overall out of the draft in like the second round or whatever it was. I think Damian Demelo was the third round, and then Austin Pope was the end of the first. But you know what I mean? Like that was so much fun. Or we drafted like that franchise goalie in the 7th round. We were pumped on that. Now the overall, you can't see what it is. You can't see anything at the draft. So I don't know. If you guys can let me know that would be cool. I think we should test it though. So you can have a look here at the auto scouting. So when it says both, the CPU will assign all scouts. So I guess if you do pro scouting only, or none, so the CPU will never assign a scout. So for the sake of things, just starting off, we're going to go both, because if we want to send a specific scout out to a specific place, we can do that. But if not, obviously our scouts are going to know what's up. They're obviously going to be working. They're not just going to be sitting at home all day. So here are some players for the draft. Obviously, once there becomes more information on them, you will get to see some of their... okay, so actually, we got a scout here going to the Ukraine to check out this guy. Okay, cool. So obviously once the scout gets more information on it, you will see their player similarity. Let's say, for example, this guy's a big power forward, all right? So he's 6'3", 202. His player comparison could be like Joe Thornton or something like that. Or a guy like Jack Hughes, his player comparable could be like, for example, could be Patrick Kane, right? So let's go ahead and scout this guy. Duration, playing style, strength and weaknesses, skills assessment, character assessment. Man, you can go so deep in this. Can you do like a overall thing? Let's do potential and comparison just to see. All right, so we'll come back to Jack Hughes and see what they say. Maybe it's Patrick Kane, maybe it's Teemu Selanne. I remember when I was in Portland for the NHL 19 event, I drafted a guy first overall. He was from Finland, and his player comparable was Teemu Selanne, which was pretty damn cool. So back to Ottawa here, all right? So we've shown a few things. We've got to worry about the draft afterwards. What's the draft board? Actually, wait, we're going to come back to Ottawa here. So projected picks. Okay, this is something I wanted to show as well. So here's all of our picks. We have a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and 2 seventh round picks. So as we progress throughout the year, we're going to target certain players. So it wouldn't be a bad idea drafting some defense, because we have Logan Brown, we have Connor White coming up probably for next year. So we need some defensive prospects. Basically, we need everything. We need all the prospects. So our scout is telling us to take this Arthur KALIYEV guy. Now he's a right wing. I don't know anything about him. I can't see anything on him. Can I? Oh yeah, I can. Okay, cool. So I can actually go in here and see what he's all about. So our scout thinks we should take this guy. Obviously the draft is like a year away. So let's actually go ahead and send a scout out to him. Why not, right? Just to see. He's a big winger, 6'2", right wing. So again, exact same thing with Josh Williams. They want us to pick this guy. So it looks like they want us to pick either a winger or a defenseman. This is honestly going to take so long to get used to. So our overall is E for the depth chart, which is not that great. In the minors, does this show any of our young guys? So yeah, it does. So Colin White, he's going to be a big piece to this team. We do know about him a little bit. We saw him in Seattle get pretty damn good. Do we have any more information on him here? So he's got 1 year left on his entry-level deal. He's 21. He should progress to like a mid 80 or low 80, and he'll be ready to go for next year. Now Logan Brown, I think, is still 1 or 2 years away. He's only 20. Look at the baby face on him. 6'5", 220. He's a big kid. I don't need to rush this guy. We're gonna let him marinate in Belleville. Again, a big dude, a big center, which is awesome. So we have that big centerpiece, which is great. But again, aside from that, like, I think Nick Paul's pretty good, but he's nothing special. He's 23. Chase Bailey's 26. We don't really have a ton of prospects out there. Alex Formenton's pretty good. He was a star in the World Juniors. There he is. What's he listed at? As an other forward, potential medium top 9. But he's only 19. So, I mean, we got not a whole lot to work with here, especially for defense. I found our best defensive prospect, aside from Thomas CHABOT, is Julius Bergman, who was acquired in the Hoffman deal, and he's a medium top 6, 73 overall. So if he grows, he could be ready to go as early as next year. That's on the quick end of things. You don't know if you really want to rush him, but he is 22, so we'll see. But aside from that, he seems to be our best defensive prospect. We have Mikael Wickstrand, who is like an AHL top 2. Like, honestly, nothing really to write home about. And again, our best goaltending prospect is Filip Gustafsson, 20 years old. This guy's 23. He's huge, 6'5", 211. It's definitely a weak team. We're definitely not a strong franchise here. So let's have a look at the free agents now that we're here, and we'll see maybe if there's anyone that we can And we can potentially go after, like, a guy like Mike Camilleri wouldn't be bad. You know, it's kind of another Marian Gaborik, maybe a little bit better. So we don't know a whole lot about this guy. It's grayed out. So I guess his overall is like 3 gray notches. So he could be like 79, he could be like 82. I think for Spiza, we kind of already know what he is. Yeah, I guess. So our Pro Scout says that he'll fit perfectly into our top defensive pairing. That's how weak we are when Lucas Spiza is our top pairing defenseman. What does it say about like Alexei Emelin? Yeah, fit into our top defensive pairing. So, I mean, that's just saying how weak we are, right? So, I mean, there is a few options. Mike Camilleri and Lucas Spiza are 2 guys who I'm thinking about right away just to strengthen up our team a little bit. Because, again, we don't have a first-round pick, which is brutal. Because this is the year where we're supposed to tank. This is the year where it's supposed to be lose for Hughes. And it looks like he's probably going to go to Colorado, which is just heartbreaking. We got Antoine Vermette here, who's a former Ottawa Senator. I believe Mike Camilleri played in Ottawa as well. Now, another really cool thing is you can check career stats, which is awesome. This will go all the way back to Mike Camilleri's rookie year, and this goes for drafted players as well. So I'm pretty sure Mike Camilleri played in Ottawa. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. So it looks like his personality assessment is very passionate about winning and will do whatever it takes. Can be emotional at times. Now, when I was in Portland messing around with this, I was the Canucks, and I tried to get a top-tier free agent. Honestly, I think it might have been Erik Karlsson. He was in the free agent pool, and I offered him a crazy contract, like 10 or 11 million, and he said no. He said he didn't want to come to my team because we weren't ready to win. And I believe he signed with LA for like 9 million. So that's going to be a big thing this year with free agents and potential signings. We got to worry about that, especially because we are not very good. What else can we look at here? Now, again, the biggest thing I think we should do, and I'm going to meet with Erik Karlsson personally, the biggest thing I think we should do is give a contract extension to Erik Karlsson. So he does want an extension. So does Matt Duchene, actually. Mark Stone doesn't say anything about it. We can't offer him a contract extension. I'm not really sure why. He has 1 year left on his deal, right? Mark Stone, 1 year left, is that right? 1 year left is 7.3. I'm not sure why that is. What about Mikhail Bodker? He's got 2 years left, so can we offer him an extension? No, we can't. I'm not really sure why that is, to be honest with you, but let's see just for fun what Matt Duchene wants. He wants 8 years at $6 million. Damn, that's a big boy contract. Now, I'd be more comfortable at like a 3-year deal at $6 million. I don't want to get too tied up in long contracts. Personally, I don't believe in crazy long contracts unless you're like a guy like Erik Karlsson, Connor McDavid, you know, elite guys, Ty Ronning, the list goes on and on. But Erik Karlsson, I'm going to assume he wants like $8 million. You know what? 7.2 is not bad at all, and he does want a 5-year deal. So it'll take him till he's 33, and we're going to get the best years out of Erik Karlsson, which is kind of a shame because I want him to be the best player he can be. And without the team to do it around him, you know, it is kind of a waste. So there is, again, that other option where it's like, you know, do we just trade Karlsson? Before we offer him anything, do we put him on the block? Do we just kind of dangle him out there? You know, there's just all these different variables that we have to work with. And again, this is where you guys are going to come in huge for this. So right away, I think out the gate, I'm not going to do anything. I am going to get the preseason done just for fun. All right, I just want to see if our scouts will have any more information if we just sim over the preseason. So let's go ahead and actually, wait, what I'm going to do is put some rookies on our team for the preseason. This is something that we have to remember to do. Now, I wish they gave you like a preseason lineup sheet where you could just throw your rookies in there as opposed to, you know, going ahead and putting all your rookies on your NHL roster. I wish you could just click a button and kind of do that, but again, that's just a minor detail. So, I mean, let's go ahead and throw guys like Logan Brown and Colin White. Let's bring those guys up And I mean, Filip Gustafsson, why not? Let's get these guys some NHL experience. All right, so that took like 3 or 4 minutes here, just sending all of our rookies up and down. So Logan Brown, Colin White are going to play alongside of Bobby Ryan. We also called up Nick Paul. These are just kind of our best rookies. I do obviously want to give our team a chance to win. So Julius Bergman, I believe he's a Swede, is that right? Yeah, so he's going to play alongside ERIK KARLSSON during the preseason, which is pretty awesome. And then Filip Gustafsson, the 62 overall. There you go. All right, so that took a little bit of time. It wasn't like it was super quick or anything, but I am also interested to see if the Montreal Canadiens are putting up their rookies as well. So let's just go ahead and quickly have a look at their roster. So it looks like they are bringing up their young guys as well, which is really, really cool. So they kept Drouin and Brendan Gallagher in there, but they got young guys like this guy, Verbeek, Canucks legend Michael Chaput. I mean, they got a bunch of young guys up there, Petrie, Weber. So they got Simone Dupre, Victor Mete. Aside from that, is Price in the net? No, it's Niemi and this guy. So that's cool. Okay, I like that a lot. I like that it's just not our team going up against a bunch of NHLers. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, so that scout that we sent an offer to, boom, done. We're 4-0 during the preseason here. I'm just interested to see what our stats are going to look like throughout the course of the preseason. So we're 5-1. I want to go past the Detroit game here. Actually, what I want to do is I want to check out how the slow sim looks. I haven't even looked at it yet. So let's see if it's any different from last year. Honestly, I have no idea. Again, this is all very, very new to me. I'm sorry if you're a little bit bored. I just want to get a good grasp of everything before we really start some serious simulation here. So let's go. First period up against Detroit, and it's a 1-1 game. Okay, that's annoying. Both of them are red. So immediately I thought we're down 2-0 because both of them were red. Stone and then Franz Nielsen, second period. Andreas Athanasiou, and we tie it up. Mikhail Bodker going into overtime. Nothing. Do we check out the shootout just for fun? Can I intervene? Oh, baby. We're going to the shootout. All right, let's see. All right, we got the throwback jerseys on. How cool are those? Coming in, EK65. What a move. See you later. 1-0. Here comes the Goose is loose. Gustav Nyquist. Ooh, he goes upstairs on Condon. So it looks like that young goalie got the night off. Here comes Stone. The exact same move. All right, man, we got to bring back those sweaters. Absolutely. Anthony Mantha. Oh, there you go. Everyone seems to be going to the backhand. That seems to be the play here. Matt Duchene. I don't know about that. All right, so I believe this is do or die. All right, if they score, they win. Dylan Larkin with the game on his stick, and Mike Condon says no. We'll have one last look here at the preseason stats just for fun. Again, this whole preseason thing is very new to me. In previous years, we would just straight up skip over the preseason, and we just wouldn't really care about it. So Bobby Ryan, 7 points in 7 games. Attaboy. I would love to offload this Bobby Ryan contract, but I can't see it happening. Colin White, 6 and 7. Attaboy. You love to see that. Just the young kid come up. 77 overall, 5 goals in 7 games in the preseason, leading our team. All right, I like it. Duchene had 4. MacArthur had 4. Logan Brown, 2 and 1. That's not bad. Paul had 1 assist, although he was playing on the fourth line. Kind of interesting. Julius Bergman didn't do anything. It's all good. And the goalies, did he get any starts? Okay, so that's a bit weird. I mean, I called up Gustafsson to get some games in the preseason, and Mike Condon decided just to play the whole damn thing. So Jack Hughes rocking 9 points in 4 games, you know, just casual. Let's see what his player compares. Okay, so his weakness is his reach. All right, he has a great 200-foot game. Puck possession's awesome. Offensive creativity. I feel like that's pretty bang on for Jack Hughes. Okay, similar style, Sean Couturier. Huh. Takes winning seriously, has an incredible drive to win. Loyalty is a concern. Very, very interesting. Okay, so Ruslan Kulemin. Okay, Michel Goulet. Now that's one of the alumni players. If you don't know who he is, don't worry. He played with the Hawks in like the 80s. Roy Chapman, he's a sniper, so his similar style is Vladimir Tarasenko. Ooh, looks like the states are just killing it here. 3 of the top 4. There's 1 Russian in there. So again, we're going to be completely out of this right now. Our scout's going to see this guy. He's got 4 points in 4 games. Similar style, nothing yet. So I guess some scouts take longer than others. Really not sure. Robertson, he's got nothing there. Barry, Skylar Barry, nothing to report. Now there's gems and busts as well. Let's see if there's anything right out the gate. So obviously it's much too early. I mean, you got guys like this guy's ranked to go 1100th in the draft. So he's probably not going to be drafted. But now the central scouting rank will be different from your scout. So our scout thinks this guy is going to go 4th, but the CS has him at 3. So exact same thing with Chapman here. Anyone else? So we have him going at 12. The central scouting ranking has him going at 11th. But again, this is only the preseason, so 22 to 21. Don't look too much into that. Is there any crazy goaltenders out there? So there isn't going to be a goalie for a long time. Probably not the year to take a goalie with our 2nd round pick. But I feel like I've given you guys enough information to get the ball rolling here. Welcome to the nation's capital. Welcome to Ottawa. Here we are. It's going to be a very, very fun ride. If you watch the Seattle franchise mode, it's going to be very similar to that, where we have storylines, nicknames, player roles, all that kind of stuff. So look forward to that. I am super, super excited to get started with this, especially with the scouting. I think we're going to take a little while longer to actually get the ball rolling. That's the fun of Fog of War. It's really the thing that's going to make this franchise mode awesome is Fog of War and the new trading system, which we'll get into. There's just so much to go into. Bo Horvat had a monster night with 4 points. Attaboy. But that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Let me know what we should do about KARLSSON, the whole Duchesne deal. I gave you guys some things to talk about in the comments down below. I will see you guys very soon with episode number 2.